You're listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast, the official podcast of jaysjournal.com and fansite.com. We are the official ballroom chat for everything Toronto Blue Jays baseball, from game highlights to rumors and all the stuff in between. Here's your host, Craig Borden, with co-host Jason Lyons and Liz McGuire. Now let's talk some Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a lovely edition of Jaybird Watching. I am your host, Craig Borden. We're here to talk all things Toronto Blue Jays on, the wonderful sponsored event that we have here from our friends at Jay Birdie. So first things first, how the heck are we, everybody?
Hey, everybody.
Lizard?
I'm sad, but you know what? I'm happy. I'm sad that we've had the Jaybird land has been sad in the last 24 hours, but our team's still great. I don't hate our ownership as much as I did in previous years. And I don't know, man, it's still bright. We'll get into it, but none of our friends went to the AL East. Let's go. Woo!
That's true.
Where's that? Jason, what's up, bud? How things on the West Coast?
It's a spring-like day here in Vancouver. It was like 13 degrees. Sun was shining. Absolutely glorious. It's a Friday, so I feel a little bit more easier to go into a 4:00 drink. So I'm enjoying a Paloma from Olay, quite delicious.
Olay.
Nice. It's a tequila and grapefruit cocktail. It's quite delicious. I'd also like to highlight my friends at Parallel 49 sent me some free beers. The Naughty and Nice pack. We got the Little Pug root beer stout and the Bob and Doug McKenzie Toothberries beer. Can't drink them because they're like 11%, so I wouldn't even make it through this thing. But happy Friday, everybody. And I'm glad there's nothing going on in MLB or Blue Jays for us to talk about.
Nothing at all.
No.
Nothing at all, but it's a good thing we have a wonderful guest here, and everybody's already all excited. Shane Told is here with us.
Hey, Troy. Hey, everybody. I'm doing good. Yeah, it has been it's not a slow news day, that's for sure. This kind of worked out perfectly. I know I missed it couple weeks ago, had a bit of an emergency to deal with, but I feel like it worked, like the stars aligned, because this is the day that I want to be here to talk to you guys about the doom and gloom that some people are saying is the 2026 Blue Jays. I don't believe that. I don't think you guys believe that, but it's funny, because I always figured with these two free agents, obviously Bichette and Tucker being the ones everyone's saying the Blue Jays are chasing, I felt like either way, those guys are bringing new problems to the team, because where's Barger going to go? What are you going to do with Santander and all these different problems would have crept up if we got one of these two guys. And a lot of people would argue they're good problems, but they're still problems, and they would still break up this core that we really truly fell in love with in the 2025 playoffs, which didn't really include Bill Bichette.
No,
it really did not.
No,
but Jason, you were just reading off the numbers a minute ago. Do you want to give anybody that might not be listening to this wonderful news cycle what? Yeah, happened?
if you haven't heard the absolutely ridiculousness of, I don't know when this garbage is going to stop with the Dodgers. What the ceiling can they're paying Tucker $60 million a year. Let me repeat that, people. $60 million a year. And he's not even the best outfielder in baseball. This is what I don't understand is what's the ceiling for the best, the best guys out there? What are we talking about? And it also creates this weird paradigm where it's like, okay, so Kyle Tucker's good. The greats now are going to break teams? So if the Minnesota Twins want to sign the top guy in the league, they got to sign him for $100 million a year. Come on, what are we doing?
It's like half the league just became the Oakland A's,
Yeah, and then the other part of it is the Mets just they're just bitter because they missed out on everything, and it's like their management woke up this morning and they were like, "Oh crap, we have nothing. What do we do? Oh, Bichette, what were you asking for? Around $22 million? We'll give you 42.
And play third base.
It doesn't have to play third base.
With your friend,
any sense, even close to what we're like. I mean, it's so far out there, and it skews it skews so many different things. And Shane, it's just like you said. I feel like we were okay without both of them. And so, like, when we were hunting for Ohtani, that was a different dog. I mean, that was a very different thing. And then I was never super keen on the Juan Soto, although Juan did have a pretty good year this year, and he's a pretty good baseball player. Sure. Again, different hunt. This one felt weird because we had kind of already replaced Bo without replacing Bo. I love his bat. He'll always be, his bat will always have a special place in my heart. But the rest of it, the Mets can keep that at third base and watch him not be able to make the throw across the diamond for a year. And then they'll be like, where are we going to put this guy? Like, we've got the best second baseman in the game. We're not going to move him there. Like, which is
funny because that happened. This already happened with Marcus Semien, right? Where they were like, we're going to put you over here and you go over there, I guess. And I think the thing with Bo is, I mean, he doesn't even have a flow anymore. Like, he's like flowless. So
that's what we're gauging this.
Absolutely. This is, the fashion. Yeah. There's that. And also, this is the thing. I was so sure, guys, that when Bo had like almost touched a World Series ring with Vladdy, that we would have him forever. But that was not true. Instead, we've got a really weird, free agent market. And I don't understand, maybe you guys can explain this to me. If the payroll of the Dodgers right now is $2 billion, when do you have to pay this back? Is it just all Ohtani money? Like, at what point are you like, oh, we're out of money and we got to like live skinny for a few years?
Right.
It's a really good idea.
That's the crazy thing, Liz. So I don't know if you were watching this year. So the Dodgers invested heavily in Japan, obviously. I mean, they have 3 of the top Japanese players that are out there on the market. So what you're looking at is they went over there, they marketed, they played games, I think, too, didn't they? They did. Yes, they did. They profited from what I read on a report. They profited about 75 million, 80 million from what they did in Japan. Profited. So there was also the money that was involved in that. So you got to think it's up in the 120, 130 million dollar range. And if they can just keep doing that every year, I mean, the Jays would be dumb not to do it. We've got players. I think we would be dumb to not go down into Mexico and play a game or two. I mean, they would sell out 120,000 stadium in Mexico City without even trying. I mean, you've got the mayor of Tijuana catching.
Yeah,
like get smart and start doing what the Dodgers are doing, which is take advantage of anything they can to make more money. I mean, I find it interesting more so now because I always saw girls wearing Yankees hats, and I knew down deep that maybe 1% of them knew exactly what they were wearing and why some people sneered at them and looked at them and asked them questions like, do you know a single Yankee? Now that's a Dodger hat. And I'm seeing it more and more and more. Yeah. And I actually said it to a friend. I was like, do you know any Dodgers? And she was like, no, I don't know a single one.
That happened to me too.
And you're like, okay, but I see 30 people a day wearing a Dodgers hat. And it's like, they understand it and it is working. I mean, I'm sure it's working for the Jays too. I've seen a lot more people in Jays gear, but the to your point originally, yes, at some point, I think Shohei owns the Dodgers. And I think that's what you'll be looking at is those Gretzky style contracts where you have to get involved with management because the team owes you $40 million and they can't pay you without selling. So it's bizarre. I don't know the precedents that it sets, but it's really making things weird.
Yeah. So to your point, you blow all that money. The Mets turn around and do the exact same thing and get the guy that they, I guess, kind of wanted, but that's really what I felt like it was because Shane, you nailed it. The Blue Jays have plenty of positions that without those guys, it actually does fall into place. We get Barger in right field. You get Varsho in center. You get Santander and Luke's playing whatever in left field. And then now our infield is just going to be Akamoto at third, Jimenez at short. Go back to Ernie Clement finally getting a full-time everyday gig. Right. And not to mention he's basically an Olympian now with a World Baseball Classic roster spot. And then you got the man that is our, MVP should be Vlad Guerrero Jr. at first base.
And I guess the fear is that the guys that had the breakout seasons last year and especially Clement in the playoffs, that they're going to get a little bit exposed when they're those everyday players. And maybe they aren't going to live up to, what we saw for half a season. And I mean, that's where, getting a guy like Tucker or keeping Bichette kind of comes in. Right. But of course, we've seen it firsthand that's not always a guarantee either. Like, look at Santander. That guy had, I mean, a pretty bad year.
Yep.
I mean, you could say
Couldn't get
terrible,
worse.
really.
Irrelevant.
He looked
Irrelevant
dead
here.
and sad.
But
And
do we-
and I mean, who's to say that anyone you sign could happen to the Dodgers paying $60 million for Tucker? He
Well,
could
that's it.
be mediocre next year. He's
That's the thing.
he's not Juan Soto, like
No.
you said.
No,
go
and
Liz.
as soon as one of these deals don't work out, that's the thing, man. As soon as like one of these like mega deals goes bust, we should hopefully see a correction, and people will be a little bit less, I don't know, just
Insane.
wildly spendy.
Yeah,
Haven't
I mean,
there
I
been
think-
enough? Haven't there been enough by now though?
yeah, there's been lots
Like
that haven't
Randon
panned out.
and like all like
Ugh.
so many guys have already flopped. That you
Yeah, I
think
mean-
that
I mean,
this, it's
But
just
like
crazy.
in like the mega money, in like was Rondon like mega money? Like I'm talking
Mega
like
money.
post Soto contract.
He
He
was the
was
first
technic-
$30 million deal, wasn't he?
He's still
Yeah, but,
technically
like-
the highest paid third baseman in Major League Baseball.
Which
True.
is
I'm
insane.
talking,
Manny
like-
Machado.
Like
Mm,
what if Otani didn't work out? These big like Rodon was trash. Like this man, he got his checks
Tony
though.
Wayne
Good
stuff.
for him. Good for him scamming. Maybe I don't know. Like the Dodgers have set a real trash precedent of buying. That's it, man. And that is the game. The game is buying. And I think that the Jays played the game, and everyone trashes us because they're like, oh, Jays lost out again. No, we were in the game. We were in those. We were in it. And where else would I want them to be but in it? And you have to be in it to win eventually. We did win with Vladdy. We have won deals. And so I really hate that kind of rhetoric that, Jays are keep losing out to the Dodgers. Well, everybody does, but we have to try. Because how mad would you be if our management just didn't?
Yeah, well, that's where we were. Remember 3 years ago, that's where
So
we
mad.
were. And
Yep.
I mean, the Dodgers are taking the playbook from the Yankees from the sort of late 80s into the 90s, where you just buy everything. You buy everybody. You try and the interesting thing for them is it very rarely worked. Like they won a couple of World Series, but nothing like they should have. Like the Dodgers are dominating now, like a team that they should have. And the big thing for me, and I think Shane mentioned this, is that I feel like this is going to be the proper coming to the party for Nathan Lukes, for Ernie Clement, for the guys who worked their bag off last year to get us where we were, Barger. And I think that if we had pulled Tucker and even Bichette back, that eliminates two of them. We all know Varsho had a dog year 2 years ago. Santander had a dog year this year. Varsho was unbelievable this year. So, I mean, the hope is that a healthy Santander knocks the skin off the ball, can play in the outfield when we need him to, but DH mostly, I would think. Can we get one more good year out of spring? If we can, if all those things hit, I think we're right back where we were this past season. Like, I think we're contending for a World Series. We just have to. I think the guys that I just talked about, the Lukes, the Bargers, the Jimenez, the Clements, they got to have a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
There can't be 2 months of each one of these guys doing well. It has to be a whole year of these guys doing well.
And we haven't even talked about the starting pitching, which is a definite improvement from last year.
Very much so.
I mean, everyone seems to be taught. It's like this. Maybe this offseason was just very offensive minded, or that's just all the news articles are about the guys that are position players. But with someone saying in the chat, Ponce and Cease. I mean, that's huge, absolutely massive. Yeah. And that could be really what puts the Blue Jays over the top. Let's, and whether who the hell it is in left field every other day, is it really going to make or break it? I don't know. I mean, probably not.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
That one right there might be the biggest wild card of all right there. The fact that we get a full year of Trey Savage in the midst of this whole thing. And then right now on paper, Jose Barrios is our fifth starter. He was our opening day starter in 2025.
I know.
It's like,
can we also just for 1 second pause for a minute and think to ourselves, were the Jays possibly okay to do this to allow Arjun Nimala to start to become the Jays starting shortstop? I mean,
they had a guy ready.
They have a guy.
You have Andres Jimenez, who's going to be the guy on paper, right?
Now, how good would it be though for Arjun to be able to come up and learn from Jimenez? Like, I mean, honestly, let's call a spade a spade. The guy might have the best hands of the last certainly 5 years. And And if he can teach Arjun how to play short properly, I mean, Arjun has weight to gain. He's got age to get. He's got to get bigger. He's got to get stronger. His baseball acumen is unbelievable. He hits the ball. His batter's eye is ridiculous. So what have you got there? You basically have Bichette light, and you can mold him maybe even at a major league level. And the Jays seem like they might be willing to take a chance on that. Like, I could see Arjun playing 10 or 15 games at short for the Jays this year, maybe 10 or 8. Is that the minimum you can?
Something like that.
But he'll be in Buffalo for sure.
Yeah, I would guess he's going to probably start in New Hampshire just because he did have a rough second half with the Canadians last year. But to that point, I almost was wondering if he was fighting an injury or whatever, and just like, you know what, I'm going to keep playing. But to that point, Jason, he's going to be taking big league reps this year in spring training. He's going to be with Andres Jimenez, probably attached to the hip, with Davis Schneider and all those guys that obviously have been there, done that with getting to where they've gotten to at the major league level. Andres Jimenez is only signed through this 2026 season, and the Blue Jays have 2 incredible good shortstop prospects. I cannot say enough good things of what I've read and seen videotape on for JoJo Parker, who they just drafted as well.
So he's got 2 first names that repeat.
Yeah,
there it is.
but we need those guys to come quick.
Yeah,
it's because it's trading for one or one of those guys. Because who else is there? If Jimenez? I mean, it would be absolutely terrible if Jimenez got hurt in the first month of the season.
But I feel like
Clement,
I have your contingency.
I guess.
I feel like you still have Ernie that can play short. You've got Schneider that can play 2. You've got, do you think Barger could play short? Probably. I mean, he's a pretty athletic dude.
He's played there throughout most of his minor league seasons. He was actually a shortstop. So
remember 2 years ago, 3 years ago when we were like, God, we got so many middle infielders.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
they're all at the major league level now.
This is it. They're all there. And I mean, I think that the other thing that it affords us, and I mean, this may stink, and it may stink to say out loud, but this may give us a really nice trading chip this year. This may give us a Nathan Lukes, who's now become an MLB everyday player. It may give us an Addison Barger, who's, shit kicking home runs for the, it may create one of those things. And then in 2 or 3 months from now, when we're like, Barrios goes down or Yusevich's arm is bugging him or whatever, the Jays at least have some playroom, and we actually have a draw now after making the World Series this year. We've got teams that want to come, or guys that want to come. So, I mean, it's, there. Yeah, Jimenez in a 4th year of a 7-year deal. I mean, that's money.
I didn't think it was that. I could have sworn there was this was his last season. I thought we only got him for 2. I'm actually calling your stats for the first time in whatever.
Don't mess with Cullen. The guy's on it. He's
good.
In
there.
No,
and he's a Mets fan. He's so happy. He's so happy right now.
I know.
I think he's more confused than anything from my chat with him earlier.
Okay, guys, what is going on with Scherzer? Is he going to show up to training camp and they'll be like, "God, you don't work here anymore"?
He's going to drive a van down there. Remember that guy that drove around in the van?
Daniel Norris.
Daniel Norris. Yeah, he's going to Daniel Norris one. He's going to Willie Mays haze it and sleep in the parking lot.
So, Shane, as far as you think, that's the one thing I think that the Blue Jays have over any team in Major League Baseball right now is the versatility, the depth, all these wonderful things like we were talking about. So I think we really have 30 some odd guys that should be on this Major League roster, and it's going to have to give a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to. There's no doubt. I mean, again, I remember you and I talked off camera, Craig, a little bit about the if we got Tucker Barger problem, you know what I mean? And what would we do with them? And I said, you know what? Maybe you trade them and you get something you really, really need. And you're like, oh my God, I would just never trade that guy. And I think that's how I feel. I mean, I think that's a lot of people's guy after, the massive home run, grand slam, in the World Series, just everything we saw from this team. It's like, you kind of have to let it ride a little bit. And I do wonder how much management, when they heard, I'm sorry, $60 million is what it's going to cost, or a long-term deal with Tucker, we're going to have to pay him at least 45 a year. I don't know. Is it going to be a
what do you think it was like to be
$500 million player?
Yeah. What do you think it was like to be in that room when they heard the call back on?
I know, right? I know. And then I think when you get to that point, it's an easy decision for the Blue Jays management, ownership. That's a big conversation to just say, you know what? I think we're good. I think we might have a star in the making in right field.
I agree. But to your point, there's some things that could be going on. There's a lot of good right field, outfield talent, infield talent, all these other wonderful things. The Blue Jays could use some bullpen talent still.
Yep.
That you talk about what we could be trading. And as much as I love Nathan Lucas, Miles Straw, and everybody, what they've done in the contributor role the last year, it really wouldn't surprise me if a prospect gets moved along with one of those guys in the coming weeks. There was only 24 days until most pitching and catching units report for spring training. It ain't that long. This has been a very crazy 48 hours with Bregman and Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette, pick anything, and people that all Blue Jays were all twined with. And it's just been crazy to see. But in summary of everything that's happened in the last 24 hours, regardless of what trades and things could be coming our way, at least the Yankees didn't get either of those guys. At least the Orioles didn't get any of those guys. Our division is still, in my opinion, ours. But what do I know?
Yeah. Jason's trying to talk.
I'm on mute. Sorry. Did you guys hear who got traded from the Devil Rays today?
Lowe. I missed that one.
The Blue Jay killer of all killers got traded out of our division. Bye. Wait,
is Mountcastle dead?
How did I miss that one?
No. Yeah. He got traded in a three-way deal with Cincy, the Anaheim Angels of Anaheim, and California, Los Angeles.
I'll be there in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I know you will. It's a beautiful stadium. You should go on the tour. If you obviously there'll be no baseball, but you should go on the tour of that stadium. They take you in where the palm trees are, and it's pretty neat, actually.
I have to check that out. I don't know what I'm doing completely outside the trade show yet. All I know is I'm meeting up with our buddy Brian Parrop while I'm in town, and possibly Brooke Knows Ball. So I'm going to have some fun outside of the convention center where I get to talk about automation and medical devices.
What?
Baseball.
What?
No. Okay, so where are we at? 425. I got a question for Shane. We have Shane on all the time. And we never talk rock and roll ever. We always just talk about baseball.
Not let us.
Can at least get one in.
I'm going to get one in, and then we can go back to baseball if we want. Okay, Shane. So my favorite sport to music sort of thing there's lots with the Tragically Hip and some other things like that. But my favorite one of sort of ever is the Pearl Jam Cubs. Just that whole, I don't know if you've seen it, the whole the thing where I think they call it 162 or something like that, where Pearl Jam plays at Wrigley right after they win, and Eddie Vedder's at every game, and it's just awesome. The whole thing is awesome. Yeah. I watched it a couple of months ago. What's your favorite, rock and roll sports collision so far?
Well, I got to give some love to Geddy Lee being the for what 40 years pretty much he's been a diehard, and what killed me was during that playoff run that they had the Jonas Brothers performing, and they couldn't have gotten Rush is back together now. They couldn't have done something
right there behind home plate,
right? I don't know. That's one of my favorite ones, even though I'm everyone knows I'm not a huge Rush fan musically. I do have a lot of respect for them and what they've done in their career. Man, that's a great question though. I'm trying to think deeper.
I often think about
related
when they burned all the records at where was that?
Chicago.
That was at Wrigley. Yeah, they burned all disco. They burned all the records in center field.
That worked out so well for the White Sox on that.
How about? Did you guys ever see Metallica do the national anthem in San Francisco for the Giants in the playoffs? That was one of my favorites. Kirk Hammett did the just guitar, and the rest of them just stood there. It was awesome.
Oh, cool! No, I never saw that.
So they have a suite. Metallica has a suite at Giant Stadium. We did the tour, and they showed us up in there, and no one can use it except them. They have a lifetime suite. So I thought that one was pretty cool. Yeah. And I know there's been some good ones in Seattle and stuff like that too.
Yeah, man. Geez, I'm digging deep. I think one band that comes to mind, another band in Toronto that's really been embraced by the sports community and a huge sports fan is the Arkells and Max Kerman. That's a guy that was breaking into games and sneaking into Air Canada center back in the day and stuff. So he's legit. So I like that they've embraced him. And, when we had Raptors, what's the old coach, the one that we won the championship with?
Not Dwayne Casey, the one after.
The one after that, yeah. It's killing me. But when he was like there and and they were doing all that stuff, I thought that was a really the Arkells became a really cool, kind of voice of Toronto sports. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Nick Nurse.
Yeah, they had a good run this year, the Arkells, with they had a lot of fun. The messing around with the Let's Go Blue Jays and the it's cool. They're a cool band.
Absolutely.
Nick Nurse.
That's right.
Nurse.
Yeah.
He's the guy. I can't believe I forgot his name.
Troy's got that in the in chat, so that's good stuff. But on that note, you mentioned Geddy Lee's been a baseball influence, and he's got the craziest collection, by the way. If you ever get a chance to Google what Geddy Lee's actual baseball collection looks like, the guy's a monster in baseball collecting.
Wow.
But Shane, you guys, obviously being from Toronto and doing all the stuff that you've been doing, you've had a illustrious career. This is your 5 seconds of fame. I know. Go ahead, talk a little bit. You've been on tour and everything lately, haven't you?
Are you wearing a Sabres shirt?
I'm in Buffalo, New York, basically. So that's where I get my Sabres stuff. Sorry, bud, but I got the right other hat on.
No, that's just very interesting. Wouldn't have taken you for a Sabres fan. That's okay. All right.
There it is.
Wow, you must really hate yourself.
To that point, I finally get to wear this proud for the first time in like a million years.
They had to win 9 in a row for him to put it on.
Nobody can see it on the mobile version, but on the desktop version, I can see it. But no, man. Yeah, we had an absolutely crazy 2025 with the band celebrating 25 years of Silverstein, and we went
2 albums.
We went everywhere. We also put out 2 albums. It was like the craziest year of rock ever. So it feels pretty good right now. January 2026, just taking a little bit of a break and hanging out and getting ready for pitchers and catchers to report. And
5-11.
We're weeks away, so it's exciting.
There. I cannot wait for spring training to get here. So why don't we shift gears here a little bit from the doom and the gloom and all the fun that we actually legit get to look forward to in the coming weeks. So we talked about the pitching rotation. We talked about the wonderful lineup that we still have ready to go for this team to run it back to the World Series, and hopefully this time just shit right on the Dodgers and take them down this time. But on that note, Shane, is there anybody in particular you're like just dying to see this spring and see them kind of get their either their chance to improve or a chance to just really show the team what they got?
It's a great question. I think this is the year of Trey. I really do believe it. I think that guy's going to have a massive target on his back, after basically the entire baseball world watched what he could do in the World Series. Everybody is going to be watching tape on this guy, trying to figure out what to do against him. And it's going to be really interesting to see the kind of adjustments that he's going to have to make in April through the beginning of the season. But I think that is going to be, if there's one guy that's going to make or break the year, it's going to be him. Because if he is what we've seen, and he's in the running for a Cy Young, if he's going to put up those kind of numbers and eat those kind of innings too, because he seems to be able to eat innings already at a young age,
which is very impressive.
Going to be that is the guy. That is my guy. I'm getting a Savage jersey. That's the next purchase. I've always been a big starting pitching guy anyway. So that's going to be the guy I'm going to be watching.
Yeah, you get something like what we've seen already out of Trey Savage in a regular season. You have the second coming of Roy Halladay, Dave Steve to this fan base, and it will be unfathomable.
And I have to manage. Sorry, Jason. You have to manage expectations because what you don't want is another Ricky Romero.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, or
Bowden Francis,
Manoah. And that's the fear, right? So
yeah.
The big thing for me with that, and I think that the one thing that Savage brings that I think is something that's very hard to find. I think Paul Skeens has it. I think Tarek Skubal has it. They have this sort of chip on their shoulder. They're angry at batters, and that's how it used to be. Like Bob Gibson, Goose Gossage, Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan hated anybody who had a bat in his hand. Didn't matter if it was a little league game that he was throwing out the first pitch or whatever. He was striking you out or blowing it by you because he didn't like you. And I feel like Trey Savage, as much as he's, a calm, cool, collected dude, I think he's the same. I think he's cut from the same cloth. He hates batters. He hates giving up hits. And he is going to continue to make that splitter more aggressive as he can possibly make it. And the best thing for him right now, this is why Trey could really have a killer year this year, is his secondary pitches are barely recognizable at this point. Like everyone knows the splitter. They know it's coming. They still can't hit it.
Yep.
And yet, if he's able to take advantage of a few other pitches that can really blow guys out of the water, then he will be untouchable. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. He's going to get hit. Like there's really good batters in the majors.
But also, and it's important to note too, look at the teams and the pressure that he faced in the playoffs. It's nuts. The three best hitters he pitched against. If you want to say Ohtani, Judge, and Raleigh, like those were the three of the best hitters in Major League Baseball. And they've seen him, he's seen them, and he came out, and we're having this conversation about him now. So that is a great sign. And man, I'm all in on this guy. I think it was a crazy pickup. It was a crazy chess move for the Blue Jays to do that in the playoffs. Could have backfired, didn't. And we looked like absolute geniuses. I mean, if it wasn't for that one, actually it was like 10 series of plays that could have went. I mean, we didn't even talk about that yet. I mean, Jesus,
we would love to get your opinion in a segue point here.
Well, real quick, this is my opinion. You flip a coin 10 times and you lost everyone. That was what happened. That was the difference. Yeah. That's how unlucky the Blue Jays got. But anyway,
baseball's a game of inches, my friend.
2026.
That's all I'm going to say. So, Liz, who are you looking and dying to see this spring?
Santander, guys. Who is he going to
Tony Taters.
Tony. I have like two guys I want to see, and they're not like for the super sexy reasons like Shane was talking about. I'm like, yeah, let's see more of that. It's who are you going to be? Who's it like? So Santander, number one, is he feeling better? I don't know what was going on with him. If he was like actually busted or he was just sad, and that's cool either way. But like, he just didn't seem like he was really present and in it. Which is pain can do that to you, right? So I want to see if he's got his like spark back because he's cute. He's got like Teo level vibes of cuteness. And I also want to see Springer. Was last year a super outlier or has he learned to dominate? I mean, the thing is, and I hate to talk about it, but it's regression to the mean, right? Like, but I don't know. It's baseball. Baseball is wild like that. So who knows? But I want to see what those guys got. And where's Bowden going to be? Is he going to be rocking this year? Like, we still have a lot of either ors. And while our team is solid, if maybe one of those either ors works out, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Valid. Go ahead, Jason. Who are you thinking? Who are you dying to see?
Mine is super simple. It is Addison Barger. Hands down. I am with Liz and the ladies. I like the Dingers as well. And I think that Addison Barger can round himself into an outstanding top-level baseball player with a deadly arm. And I think that his swing will allow him to start really hitting baseballs a long way. And the nice thing for him is I think that he's smart and he's savvy enough to know when he can try and hit it out and when he wants to just put it in play, which I think is something you don't see in a player necessarily of his age or someone who has hit home runs his whole career. Those guys want to crush. And I think the person that has helped with this the most is Old Man Springer. I think Old Man Springer has shown guys like Barger and Lukes and Clement that a ball in play is much more important than a ball over a fence. And then you can work your way to a ball over the fence by beating the pitcher. And That's what the Jays did so often last year. I watched a big highlight pack just this afternoon, actually, of the Jays walk-off wins. And if you watch that walk-off win package, not one of them was the same. Not one. Like, it's not like there was 3 singles to get a guy in from third base. It was all different. It was a bunt. It was a home run. It was a triple in the gap, right? Like,
I mean, fun, man. It's fun.
All kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that Barger is the guy that's got me most excited. I just, you know, I'm really excited to see what he can do this year.
Liz, did you want to expand on that walk-off part? I could see the wheels turning.
No, I had none. I had none there. No,
you were at a few of them.
I'd like to add something to what Liz said.
I mean, the walk-offs were fun. That's it. Walk-offs are fun and they're amazing. But like,
I've only been to one. Out of all the baseball games I've attended to, and it was on Vlad Guerrero's Jr.'s debut night. I was there watching the Brandon Drury driving him in.
I was at the Edwin home run when
wild card?
Yeah, wild card.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Who just celebrated a birthday, I believe.
I think I actually was filming it at the time too.
That's
no, I got to dig through that one. But you know, to what Liz said, I think it's really interesting about Springer and how a lot of people want to say, "Oh, it's a fluke year," and what happened. You know, he's 35 years old. But I remember one time, I think it was when after he had a bunch of injuries and he came back and he was DHing, and I don't know if it's Hazel Mayer who asked him, "Oh, you know, you were DJing. That's what I do. You were DHing tonight. You know, how does that feel? A lot of players don't like DHing." And he goes, "Oh, actually, I fucking love DHing. Like I and they go, "Why?" He goes, "I don't know. I just like it. I've always liked it." And then you see him go into basically a full-time DH role. And what does he do? But he absolutely rakes.
Yep.
And maybe there's something there about, you know, a guy that's been such a awesome, you know, defensive player, center fielder his entire career. Maybe just taking him out of that, you know, and being able to do nothing but focus on the next at bat when you're there, being like, I just need to focus on the next at bat. What is it going to be? And not have to go out and basically run the entire outfield, run the entire defense, really, as a center fielder does. And he especially does. Yeah. And I think that for some players, that is beneficial. Not all. Some players, I think they get bored. They don't like just sitting on the bench. They don't feel like they're contributing. But Springer's not one of those players. So I think we're going to see another really great year from Springer for that reason.
He was healthy because of that too. That was the other piece to that puzzle. And to your point, what gets that person locked in? Every one of us is different. There's always those things that you're fixated on or what you like doing. Maybe they finally stumbled onto what that gets the last bit of, you know, amazing baseball out of George Springer. And sounds like the mantra from Dave Hopkins did not hurt either. So there was the true MVP of last year, I think, too, because this offense clicked. So on that note, I'm going to go to the fan chat here for Brother Lions. Our buddy Troy, and this is a sneaky signing the Blue Jays might have made. Eloy Jimenez is still in the Blue Jays minor league system on a minor league deal. This guy was a monster when he came up with the Chicago White Sox. He just raked and destroyed baseballs. He has not been able to regain that form. He's still under 30, if I'm correct. So could somebody like Dave Hopkins this spring be the difference in Eloy Jimenez becoming that bat that he was at the beginning of his career again? His rookie season, he dropped 30 bombs and batted 280, everybody. Yeah. So just saying, he's not that far removed from it. This is, you know, I know it's not, seems like a very distant time frame, COVID time frame. So thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think that they've proven now that anybody that Hopkins, has any experience with seems to improve. And I think that even a spring training with a guy like Eloy, where he's got George Springer, where he's got Santander, where he's got guys who've been there doing it, and also being able to see, you know, if he's 29 and he looks down the line at a guy like Nathan Lukes, who, you know, toiled, and now he's, you know, as far as I can see, I can't see much that takes him out of the field or takes him out of a game. I mean, he's an everyday baseball player now, and good for him. He deserves it. He, like he worked his sack off to get there. But
he might have been one of the toughest outs in the postseason outside.
Well, Ernie Clement was. Like, I mean, let's call spade a spade. He was unbelievable. But so, I mean, if you can get a guy who, small changes, like even Barger, small changes this year made a huge difference in that guy's swing. And even, George Springer credited them making small tweaks to his swing and them really paying off. So, I mean, and then Okamoto. I mean, I agree with Cousin Lyons again. I mean, we haven't even really talked about Okamoto. No. And I mean, from everything I've seen, this guy's going to be a flipping beast.
I think the biggest thing very undersold was his defense.
With Eloy, I think part of the problem really is, I mean, he's an outfielder. Where are we going to put him?
Yeah,
it's if we resort to him coming into the lineup, it's going to be because we've got issues. We got injuries.
Or injuries.
Yeah, it's going to be exactly. So, can the guy play shortstop?
Storyline.
250 pounds, 6'4" shortstop. I mean,
yes. Sounds like Cal Ripken.
But I mean, I think that's the biggest reason why I'd say he's a non-factor. But I would love to see him. Guy is an absolute beast. But hey, and in that ballpark too. But yeah, let's talk about Okamoto. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't know much about him before we signed him.
Yep.
And the numbers look great. I'm sure he's got that Japanese work ethic because that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But will it translate? It doesn't always translate,
But I think the team has to be part of it. Like, I think the Dodgers have absorbed that Japanese work ethic, and they're like, we're going to work like this as a team now. And they have the benefit of having Mookie Betts. And I mean, Mookie is just he's a robot.
Freak of athlete nature.
And Freddie Freeman, the two of them are baseball robots. You say, go out and do stuff. They go out and do stuff. And so I feel like we've got baseball robots on the team too, at this point. I mean, Vladdy seems to be a guy who likes to have fun, but he gets his stuff done. And when he needs to improve, he improves. When he needs to drop weight, he drops weight. When he needs to get stronger, he gets stronger. Like, I mean, he just does those things. He wants to play baseball for.
Speaking of things, have you seen his off-season work ethic yet? Those videos are nuts.
And this post, and to your point, Chase, this postseason, it just showed that he's able to be the man.
Astronomical. His performance was. I mean, you can't even like.
He's the World
Shohei
Series.
Was great. Other guys were great for other teams.
Yep.
Vladdy was flat out the best player often.
Yes.
The Yankees can attest to that.
The Yankees are so much happier that they get to face him for the next 10 years?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that one felt good to say. So I cannot wait to see what Okamoto can do this spring training. He's going to finally see some major league pitchers. Are they going to find some holes in his swing? Of course. But to your point, I just think there's so much good baseball in that young man that it's going to be perfect for what we need. We need an everyday third baseman. Great. We have that. Now we can put Ernie Clement back in the middle of the infield where he belongs, because that's what he came up playing. Is he a good third baseman? Of course. I want to see what Ernie Clement would look like at second base all season and actually legitimately having a home on the diamond in this, being able to worry about second base hit.
Yep.
We saw what he did this last season when he was like, I don't know which glove I'm going to use today, but I bought this one on eBay.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very intriguing. And then Okamoto's definitely legit got home run pop that is going to play for the Blue Jays in the Rogers Center Sky Dome, and it's going to be very fun. And I think there's going to be a few extra taters down at the TD ballpark in Dunedin when I'm down there this year. So I'm looking very much forward to seeing him live down there while I'm visiting. So Absolutely. Shane's got something.
No, I was thinking about Okamoto. I'm still not even sure how I say his name. You said Okamoto?
I think it's Okamoto. I think I keep saying that wrong.
Okamoto. Yeah. But
we're going to hear every home run call. We're going to get it right finally. Don't worry.
Right. Well, I mean, Jason Lyons is still saying the Devil Rays over there, so I love the guy.
I have
There you
to.
go.
I don't like them, so you have to say
The
Devils.
Devils. And then, of course, we have to return to the Trop like we were talking about last
God.
episode this year.
Liz,
God
what are your
help
thoughts
us.
on the Trop?
God help us.
Fuck the drop.
Here it
Fuck
comes.
the drop. Forever. Return it to the ocean again.
But what I thought was really an interesting thing, I'd love maybe more baseball experts' take on it, is talking about how, Okamoto he's his first for like basically Gold Glove caliber first baseman, also great at third. And then a lot of people were like, well, we don't know if that will translate to Major League Baseball. And here's what I want to know. Okay, maybe the exit velocities are a little bit faster, but it's not like no one in Japan can hit the ball 105 miles per hour down the line.
Yep.
It's not like he's never seen it before.
Nope.
So if he's a Gold Glove winner in Japan, I think he could still do it over here. Especially with some of the freak athletes they have too in Japan.
Yeah, they've discussed this in the last couple of years quite extensively. That league is it's no longer sort of like a step down. It's just sort of a like this. Like it's just adjacent where you certainly have guys who are running out the end of their careers, but you've got these guys who just can't catch on in different places, or guys who maybe, like we all know that there's been guys who've run up against a manager who rubbed them the wrong way and they ended up, not playing or whatever the case may be. But there's some animals over there, and we're going to start to see, more of those guys coming over. And
got a wave of 3 of them this year, which is a lot for what we've had. And to your point, Jason, I'm going to put this in regular baseball terms. The Japanese Baseball League has basically become quadruple A at this point.
Yes.
There's always those players that fell right in that. I can't quite make it in the majors. I'm too good for AAA. Some of them go over, like we just seen with Cody Ponce and some of the other ones that even when Eric Thames went over to Japan and became literally Godzilla, and the guy is just, jacked up like crazy. He comes back and he hits 40 bombs for the Brew Crew. That's just how it's become. You get that extra little piece, learn what that last bit was, maybe like you said, get the right coach. And then we even had a few players that came on this show before, and they've talked about the language barrier actually allows you to just focus on certain things, and it turns into a lot of show and tell instead of worrying about the actual words. And apparently the language of baseball is universal. Doesn't make a difference.
It also allows you to blame all of your gambling problems on someone. Oh, sorry, too soon?
Oh, no.
Pete Rose?
Pete Rose. That's still the best Pete Rose line I think I've ever heard in my life. He had what?
Yeah.
That's all I needed was an interpreter.
Yeah.
I could be in the Hall of Fame. Oh, too crazy. So, but on that note, that's what's been going on. It is almost spring training. I just want to make sure that we talk out some fun things in the show. We got about 15 minutes left here. So just to make sure we're having fun with everything, this last segment is going to be brought to you by our sponsor, Company. Exactly. I got to get a horn. Got to do something.
I'll get one. Yeah.
So on that note, I wanted to just talk and have some fun here at the end. We started hinting at where I wanted to go a little bit here, and I'm just going to segue a little bit from what I saw earlier this week at my side job. Many of you know I work at a baseball card shop here in town called We the Hobby here in Rochester, New York, and it's one of the bigger companies that just does the live pack rips on camera. They opened up a $1 million basketball card earlier this week, and it got me flip-flopping on
at your store.
They opened it up on one of the shows. Somebody bought the slot that ended up turning into a Cooper Flag rookie card for NBA basketball. It is a 1-of-1 autographed super refractor. The guys that run I don't know if you've ever seen that show, King of Collectibles on Netflix.
Yes, I have.
That Ken Golden guy has a $1 million bounty out for that card.
Wow.
So in the midst of your travels, Mr. Shane told Jason, Liz, you've seen some cool things. What is some of the weirdest, funnest, oddest kind of collectibles that you have happened to see? Baseball, rock and roll, whatever it might be. Or Shane, have you had a really weird bobblehead or something like that we're not aware about that's flying around on eBay?
I've had a couple people, you can make like custom Funko Pops. I
you
have
have
a few
one?
of those. I have a few of those floating out there.
Of
yeah.
yourself?
Of myself, yeah.
Get out of here.
Well, people have made them. I don't have them.
I gotta get one
People
now.
have made them. It would be cool to have an actual,
I'm
production.
penciling that
I
down.
don't know how famous you have to have a production model Funko Pop. I think pretty famous.
We'll start lobbying them.
But
right before they go out of business.
But man, I mean, like here in Las Vegas, where they have a punk rock museum, they got some pretty cool stuff in there, like Lemmy for Motorhead's Ashes in a Bullet. Like that's pretty crazy stuff
pretty
like that,
badass.
and like Joe Strummer's Last Bag of Weed. There's some cool artifacts like that. I don't know if that's kind of collectible. I mean,
it's a one of one. You're not
it's a one of one,
unless it was a full clip of them or something. I have no idea, but that's besides the point. But no, that's some really cool stuff. But one of the more random rock and roll ones that I cannot believe I missed out on. So a couple of years ago, I went up to Toronto. This is before I had the lovely pleasure of meeting Liz here. I went and saw the Foo Fighters at the Sky Dome. And they did a promo at Steam Whistle that earlier that day that I had no idea what it was. And it was actually the whole band in a classic bobblehead, that made out of the ceramic and everything. And they did it just for the show. And I'm like, how did I miss out on that? It was one of the coolest little collectibles that I had seen. And I'm still hunting them, but they're not cheap at this point. But rock and roll fun right there. And the best part was they were, in Blue Jay uniforms. Jason, Liz,
well, I've got a couple. Like one of my favorite collectibles I have a signed Jerry Rice 49ers helmet. Like it's a real
nice.
It's a real Niners helmet, and it's an interesting story. My friend was in Vegas. It was right before my birthday, and he called my wife and said, "Hey, would Jason want a signed Jerry Rice helmet?" And she's like, "Yeah." So he doesn't say anything more than that. I guess she assumed that he was just going to go up to the thing and I don't know. And so I have pictures of my buddy like with his arm around around him and it getting signed, and that was a pretty neat one. I've got a bunch of signed Canucks jerseys and like a signed LA Kings jersey, but I think my favorite thing that I have two favorite things. One of them is my son caught the first ball that Freddie Freeman hit as a Dodger. We were at spring training. It was Freddie's first at bat. We were right down the corner line, and the ball was hit. It was the first pitch of the game. He lined it over the first baseman's head. It went foul, and one hopped right into us in the thing. We tried to go get it signed. It was too hard to get down there, but that's pretty cool. And then the other thing that I have is I have an original painted print. I think you guys have seen it before. It's the Kelly Gruber tagging out awesome. Ricky Henderson when Ricky was trying to set the record. He set it the next game. And it's signed by Kelly Gruber. It's one of like 150, I think. And it's an original. And so it's one of my favorite things. It was in my nan's house for a long time. She was a big Kelly Gruber lady, and that's probably my favorite.
It's because he's a babe.
Yeah.
It's like the OG Addison Barger.
Yeah.
Or imposter Dave
Gruber.
Uncle Joey. Go ahead, Liz.
So I'm gonna beat you guys. I know. The first collectible I ever got was Kelly Gruber's weed that he couldn't take over the border, which I gifted to my brother and had a half smoked joint in it. We put it in it rated after a while. The Kelly Gruber weed, I don't think it lasted long, but we kept it. He went to a Snoop Dogg show at some billionaire's house in Caledon, and my friends were there, and Kelly Gruber was staying at their house, and I got Kelly Gruber's weed. He couldn't take over the border, and that even beats the fact that I'm a collectible. I don't advise it. Don't I am a collectible. I did somebody paid $3,000.
I still don't have one of those cards.
Nobody does.
I keep checking my mailbox for one to show up. A sign.
That's it. They're all under my bed.
You have to come visit her, Jason. After my fourth or fifth trip, she goes, "We're officially friends now," and she gifted me one.
But the thing is, when I got a Vladdy game used signed bat, it's like sits under my TV in a case, and I paid like maybe $1,500 for it from a guy who was like, "Oh, I thought he'd go to the Mets," and then he sold it to me because I bought it out of Toronto. If you were to buy one in Toronto, they cost about $5,000 just game used, not even signed. Yeah, $4 or $5,000. So I got it game used, signed, authenticated There's photos of him at the signing and stuff. And so that sits under my television. Everyone looks at it. It's nice. And they just display nice. And then fake behind me there, I've got some balls when I met Aaron Judge, some Aaron Judge signed balls. And when Buck Martinez randomly sat beside me at a game where my friend Pete Pie, there he is there, in the chat, just handed me a foul, like a batting practice ball he caught. And there was Buck Martinez right beside me. Got him to sign it.
Yeah, lovely.
Pete's got a nice one there. I like that.
I bought that. I was bought that for my friend Rachel's 40th birthday.
The Doug Flutie.
How about Cousin Lions underneath? Cousin Lions is a real one.
Yeah.
It's his video.
That's
the gift. Right, that's the jelly of the month club. That's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year round.
There it is. So I'll say the best one that I've gotten. They used to do a really, really cool minor league event here in Buffalo, and it used to be the State of the Minor League franchise, and it was usually right around the time they would do the Winter Fest and everything up in Toronto. It was like kind of like the parade of the prospects were going up the East Coast, right? They'd stop here in Buffalo. I used to go with my dad every year. We'd eat crappy hot dogs, drink a bunch of beer, chit chat. That's how I met Rowdy Tellez and got the horrible tagline that we have for this show of the Barroom Chat for Blue Jays fans, because that's what it went when we were discussing this whole thing. And I have a Lansing Lugnuts hat from that event that I have Vlad, Biggio, and Bo autographed on it. And unfortunately now it's just like the breakup hat, but it's still on my mantle in pride. I love it. So
there
cool
you go.
Stuff.
I don't have as much memorabilia as you guys do, but I have a couple cool things. I also have a Kelly Gruber signed baseball. I don't know. This guy's signing stuff for everybody, I guess.
Yeah,
just turn behind you. You got some pretty cool shit behind you there.
I got it's all music stuff, but I think the one thing that I kept that I like a lot is I have a ticket stub from Vladdy's first game.
That's cool.
Nice.
That's one that means a lot to me, especially.
I was at that game too. I think Liz was too.
Yeah. Did you keep
that
your
was a
ticket
big
stub?
event, guys. That was a big event.
Get one.
We had nothing, and then we had something.
That's the thing. You didn't always get a ticket stub. That's the thing. Ticket stubs are a weird thing now.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I kept all the ones I had from all the rock and roll shows and everything I've been to over the years, because
it's like you have to do a will call pickup to get a real ticket now.
Yeah.
If you want a real ticket. And that
was
was
your inside rock and roll.
Bit of a hack there.
Yeah, you just lie and say it's not working on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Print off the freaking screenshot the app and print on a piece of paper? It's not the same as a ticket stub.
Get one of those
horrible selfie with a piece of paper.
Yeah, get one of those big head ones done with you and your phone. Like, I went to Judas Priest.
Yeah. I think when I went and saw Billy Idol over the summer at Madison Square Garden is the only actual ticket stub I've gotten probably in 5 years. That might be it. That might be legit.
Ooh, I have my least favorite collectible. My least favorite collectible was the apology ball the Blue Jays gave me, signed by Bo Bichette. Fuck that.
Apology ball for what?
Yeah.
When she got hit in the face.
Yeah.
Oh.
The apology ball.
Oh, that's right. Shane might not know this one.
I know. And they made me pick it up at like the fan services, and they just got it from the Jays shop, and nobody would look at me or talk to me, and it was so fucking weird. Anyway, the apology ball signed by Bo Bichette, which sits in a in a cupboard somewhere. I never look at it.
Yeah, keep it there. It'll be good luck.
Yeah.
I found a ticket stub from our last tour.
There it is.
Because they're
25
rare.
years of noise.
I found this on the fucking ground.
That's awesome.
And I was like, I'm gonna. I know it's backwards. Sorry, people. But and mobile.
No, we see it right way. We see it right way.
This.
If
see
it's
it right
backwards, for everyone who's watching, if it's backwards, just do a headstand. And
like a Chris Farley one's all I got. That's all I'm going to say.
Just turn your eyes around. It's fine.
So on that note, Shane, how I don't know who in your marketing or if you did or one of you guys in the bands thought of that tour name, but that was perfect. 25 years of noise is awesome.
You know how we got the name? Nobody knows this. So we were planning the tour out, and we were kicking the tires on like some more, not really the name of the tour, but just kind of like the ad mat, like graphics and stuff. So we have a couple graphic designers that we work with, and one of them just did it. They just sent back like sort of a design of some stuff, and then just put 25 years of noise as a placeholder, and we were like, actually, that's kind of
keep
sick.
it.
And then we just kept it, and we rolled with it like the whole year 5 different tours. We went all over the world with that moniker. And yeah, and all that guy got was the design credit, but it was him. He just came up with it and we rolled with it. And sometimes the best stuff is like that, you know?
Yeah. Hey, that's what collaboration is about. And I know that's a big thing, obviously, being a musician and all that kind of stuff. And same thing with working on a team. So you never know where the good idea comes from, as long as it's a good one.
Hey, just in time for the shameless plug. Did you see Fallen Angel Crimson? There you go, Shaner.
Thanks,
it's
bud.
like you're thinking ahead on me, bud. So Shane, the microphone is yours like usual. So tell everybody what's going on. I want to hear about this cruise. Tell everybody what's up.
Yeah, well, we completed 25 Years of Noise, 25th anniversary tour of Silverstein. Pretty crazy. We did, I believe it was 88 shows. We did 5 different separate tours. We did shows all across Canada, the US, Europe, the UK, Australia. It was a huge success, and now a little time to recuperate before we go on the Emo's Not Dead cruise.
Who else
which
is on
will
the cruise?
be
Who else
fun.
is there?
We got the Used, Under
really?
Oath. Yeah, I mean it's a great lineup. August Burns Red is there. The Devil Wears Prada. I could pull it up there. It's a great lineup.
Yeah,
will you be wearing eye makeup?
Well, there's a lot of eye makeup.
There's got to be a lot of eye makeup. I feel like most of the people though, they don't embrace the fashion as much because it's like everyone's on a cruise and they're more like in vacation mode than like all gopped out. But regardless, yeah, it's a good time. We did the first one and we're coming back now. This is the 4th one I think they've done.
That's fun.
And that's going to be fun. It's going to be like a bit of a reward kind of vacation, but also we get to play some rock. So that'll be fun. And then the rest of the year is a blank canvas right now. We'll see what comes in. We don't even know.
I'll be at spring training. Bears.
Yeah, I'll be in Arizona.
I would love to do that. I should look into if I can come down for at least like, a week and come down to Florida and check it out.
Yep, I'll be down there interviewing people for our buddy Petey. That's
all right.
In this chat.
I'll jump in. I'll be your co-host.
We'll get the Shane report. It'll be awesome. I'll be down there from the 18th to the following week. I even have an interview with the mayor, Mo Freeney.
That was awesome.
Here's what we'll do, Craig. Here's what we'll do, Craig. I'll be your wingman, okay? Now you give me all the questions that you want to ask, but like you'll feel like you're too professional or like embarrassed. And then I'll come in with like, I'll get the like long hair and I'll like act like I'm stoned or something. And then I'll ask the crazy shit. But then
so this sounds like
it won't make you look bad.
Where I whisper it in your ear and then you just go, oh, by the way.
Yeah. I'll be doing crazy. I'll be doing crazy shit. I'll be asking Barger what his body count is and shit. Like,
you have to ask about the bitches. You gotta ask about
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Married 3 kids. He might
twist
not be
my
the
arm.
best one to ask.
To that point, Shane will end up taking over the show because I can get the mayor and about 3 minor league prospects to talk on this show. That's about it. So they're all good. But on that note, Shane, I was looking through the bill for this cruise and I had this like Wayne's World 2 moment where he was like just listing off all the bands that he wanted to have at the show at Waynestock.
Pearl Jam.
He gets to an old man fashioning a canoe
out of a log.
That's what it felt like to be looking at that bill because it just keeps going and going and going. You guys are going to have such a blast hanging out with all of just in your community there with the rock stars, being on a cruise ship, to your point, having fun with the family while you're wandering around.
Don't fall off the boat, man. Don't fall off the boat.
Sound advice.
I may fall off the boat.
Into the
you
can fall
off. Make sure there's a dinghy. Hey, quit playing with your dinghy.
I'll fall off the boat and they'll call me fall off boy.
Fall off.
There's the
emo humor.
Yes,
emo humor. What a way to end it.
That is the perfect. You always end on a joke, everybody. That is always the best way to end. So on that note, everybody, thank you very, very much for goofing around with us and our friend Shane Told this evening. Shane, feel free to hang out in the green room after we're done talking here. But we have some more fun on the way. Liz, you gotta tell who's on next week. Our buddy Taylor is.
Our buddy Taylor Belford's coming on. She's gonna talk about what some fun stuff that is going on by in Dunedin. The formerly Walk Off podcast. What is the current name? I don't know, but they're doing some pretty cool stuff in Dunedin, and she's gonna be on to tell us what's up.
Yep. And then when the following week, we actually have one of the Blue Jays' brand new, wonderful hitting instructors, Mark Arsana is going to be on the show. And we're going to talk all things hitting and just trying to get geared up for spring training that week. And it's going to be a fun time. I am also going to be in Anaheim that following week. So you guys are going to get to see Craig remote for a while. It's going to be funny. I will be, like I mentioned, hanging out, hopefully, and getting some good content and hanging out and talking some baseball with Brook Knows Ball and our buddy Brian Parup. That is all things collectibles in sports cards and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you tune in the next few weeks. We are going to have a wonderful time. And as always, don't get too gloomy. The Blue Jays are ready to run this back. So let's go, Blue Jays, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
Later, Gators.
Thank you for listening to the Jaybird Watching Podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at BirdwatchingGC and our YouTube channel. If you want to support the show and get extra content, please consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/birdwatchinggc. Go Jays, go.
Woo!